You're listening to Wealthy-esque. We are a community of lawyers who believe that true wealth is having control of our time. I'm Ro Thomas, and as a busy wife, mom, and former Big Law associate, I know all too well the tension between the culture of the legal profession and pretty much everything else you want to do in life. That's why each week I'm bringing you the information and tools you need to improve your money mindset and manage your money to create true wealth. Because ultimately, it's not about the money. It's about the freedom and flexibility the money affords. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I hope you're doing well and having an amazing day so far. Today, we are talking about living in the present moment and not wanting to jump ahead to some future point and putting pressure on yourself to get to that future point faster. I had a conversation the other day with a law student who wants to learn to manage her money better. She is working while she's in law school and she has some financial goals she wants to accomplish. And she just generally wants to make sure she knows how to manage money before she starts making more with her associate salary. And let me say this, I think it's so great that she's already thinking about this, and I'm always so impressed with the law students and early career attorneys who reach out to me and want to get their finances in order, because most lawyers are not thinking anything about this kind of stuff that early on. But one thing that stood out to me in our conversation was this student was talking about her finances as if she were a second or third year associate rather than a second or third year law student. She has great goals like saving for a house and paying off debt, but she is feeling so worried about her finances and she's putting a lot of pressure on herself to accomplish all these things before she's even finished with school. And I told her I can absolutely help her, right? I can absolutely teach her how to manage her money better. I can teach anyone. But I asked her, what if she just focused on getting through school and enjoying the time she has left? Right? All the other stuff will still be there on the other side, and she'll have more income to be able to achieve her goals at that point. Because one thing I know from experience is while she's putting all this focus on the future and getting to her goals and paying off her debt and saving for a house, she's probably not having a great experience in the present. I have told you before about my own similar experience when my husband and I first started our debt journey back in 2016. And if you're not familiar with that story, basically we added up all our debt and realized we owed over $670,000, most of which was student loans. And I just wanted it gone, right? I thought about it all the time. I was thinking of ways we could cut more expenses and bring in more money so we could pay it down faster. I was obsessed, and in my mind, I was thinking that life would be better when it was all paid off. But the issue was I was ruining my present experience. Our financial situation felt very heavy to me. I felt very overwhelmed by it. I felt hopeless. And it just sucks, right? When you're just focusing on how much debt you have all the time and how much you owe and how far you are from where you want to be. And so my conversation with that law student reminded me so much of my own experience and the importance of living in the present moment. And to be clear, I'm not saying she should just YOLO her way through the rest of law school, but I am saying that she doesn't have to be so focused on the future things that she wants to do financially. I read this book recently called Grace Over Grind. It's by an author named Shay Bynes, and it's actually a business book about doing business in God's grace rather than hustling and grinding. And I know that not everyone who listens to this podcast is an entrepreneur, and not everyone who listens to this podcast is a Christian, but there was one part in that book that I think is particularly applicable to our conversation today. At one point, the author was talking about living in the grace of one day only. And I just really like the way she put that, right? Living in the grace of one day only. Because we often want to look to the future, all the points that we haven't gotten to yet, all these goals that we have, just like me, just like that law student I was talking to. And we forget about right now. Yes, you want to plan for the future. You want to decide the things that you want to do. You want to set the goals that you want to accomplish, all that stuff. But what if you focus on only what you need to focus on today? All those other things, you will get to them when it's time. But what if you just worry about what you need to worry about today? And when you do that, when you live in the grace of one day only and take things one day at a time, you create a much better experience of your life. You're living in the now and enjoying what's happening now. You're focusing on the things you can do today and not getting overwhelmed with all the things you need to do down the line. It's similar to a concept that we talked about in the conversation about feeling overwhelmed with your finances. That was episode 85. So go back and listen to that one if you haven't. But when you're feeling overwhelmed with your finances, often it's because you're looking at the whole picture all at once and all the things that it will take to get to the goals you have and not thinking about just one thing at a time, right? That one thing you can do or that one step you can take right now. So if you are like this student or like I was back in the day, take a step back from all the things you think you need to be doing to achieve your goals and focus on the present moment. What do you need to worry about right now, today? What's one step you can take? When you keep your focus there, I promise you things will feel so much easier, so much lighter. And once you have a plan for achieving your goals, it's just a matter of working that plan, just living that plan one day at a time. And the culmination of all those days, right, living the plan each day, making decisions that align with the goals that you have each day, moving forward in the goals that you have and the things you want to do, all of that culminates in you achieving those goals you have for yourself. But you do so with much more grace, with much more ease, with much less stress and anxiety and worry. It's just an overall better experience. The only thing we have is the present. The past only exists in our memory. The future hasn't happened yet. All we have is the present. So that's what we're going to focus on. Set the goals, make the plans, but when you're living day to day, focus on one day at a time. That will lead to a much better experience of your finances and your life. And listen, I will teach you how to manage your money with the grace of one day only. We create your goals, we create the plan to get you there, and then we focus on what you can do in the present from week to week and day to day to get there. So get on the waitlist at rothomas.com/waitlist so you will know as soon as I'm taking on new clients. All right, that is it for this week's episode. Come connect with me over on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, Ro Thomas, and Instagram at I am Ro Thomas. Subscribe to the show and leave a review, both of which help more people to find it. And please take a second, think of a friend or two who could use this information and share this episode with them. As we close out, friend, I pray that you take the information you learn here, apply it in your life, and open up to the realization that wealth is available to you. As you do that consistently, week after week, you'll continue to take steps to regain control of your time, build wealth, and live the life of freedom and choice you deserve. Talk to you later.